Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Renee and this video is going to be my 23 books in 2023 that I want to read for sure. It's been a while since I put a video out, so I thought I'd come on and make a little video. So I have like 9 middle grade, 1 young adult, and then the rest are adult books that I would like to read by the end of 2023. So let's get right into it. My Year in the Middle by Lila Quintero Weaver. So this book follows 6th grader Lou Olivera. Just wants to keep her head down and get along with everyone. The trouble is, Lou's old friends have been changing lately, acting boy crazy and making snide remarks about Lou's newfound talent for running track. Lou's secret hope for a new friend is fellow runner Belinda Gresham. But in 1970 Alabama, blacks and whites don't mix. So this book was gifted to me last Christmas and I haven't read it, so I would really like to read it by the end of this year. My Year in the Middle. Okay, the next middle grade book is The Season of Sticks Malone by Kekla Magoon. So this book follows Caleb Franklin and his big brother Bobby Jean have the whole summer to explore the woods in Sutton, Indiana. Caleb longs to adventure beyond their small town, but his dad likes the family to stay close to home. Then Caleb and Bobby Jean meet new neighbor Sticks Malone. Sticks is 16 and he oozes cool. He's been lots of different places. Sticks promises the boys that together they can pull off the great escalator trade, which is a way to turn one small thing into more and more until they achieve their wildest dream. But as the trades get bigger, the brothers find themselves in over their heads. Sticks has secrets, and Caleb fears their whole plan might fall apart. This has been on my radar for a while, so I really want to get this read by the end of 2023, The Season of Sticks Malone. So all of these books are middle grade that I'm starting with. This one is an ARC. It's called, and it's already released, but it's been on my shelf. Anybody here seen Frenchie? And I think I've talked about it in some other videos by Leslie Connor. I read The Truth as Told by Mason Buttle, and there's another one, Waiting for Normal, I think it is, that I've read, and I've really enjoyed those. So I'm sure I'll enjoy this. But this book is about 11-year-old Aurora Petroquin, and her best friend has never spoken a word to her. In fact, Frenchie Livernois doesn't talk. Aurora is bouncy, loud, and impulsive, a big old blurter. Making friends has never come easy for her. So when Frenchie, who is autistic, silently chose Aurora as his person back in 3rd grade, she was all in. In fact, she chose him back. They make a good team, sharing their love of the natural world in coastal Maine. In the woods, Aurora and Frenchie encounter a piebald deer, a rare creature with a coat like a patchwork quilt. The piebald is alluring and mysterious. Whenever it appears, Aurora feels compelled to follow. At school, Aurora looks out for Frenchie, who has been her classmate until this year. One morning, Frenchie doesn't make it to his classroom. Aurora feels she's to blame. The entire town begins to search, and everyone wonders, how is it possible that nobody has seen Frenchie? This is also a really big book that's already out. This copy is an ARC. So many people have read this book and enjoyed it, and I really want to give it a go by the end of this year. And it is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. That cover is just... It says, Harry Potter meets Men in Black in this exhilarating debut middle grade fantasy filled with black girl magic. And there's already book 2 out of this. The first book in an Owen Voices trilogy full of magical world-building, witty humor, and genuinely surprising twists and turns addresses important themes of racism, classism, prejudice, skillfully grappling with what it means when finding out you're the chosen one doesn't erase the prejudice and discrimination you've faced. Soon to be a major motion picture, ooh, I didn't know that, from Universal Pictures with Marsai Martin from Blackish starring as the producer. So the back doesn't specify what this is about, but if I recall correctly, her brother goes missing. I can't remember. Let me look. So it says, Amari discovers a ticking briefcase in her brother's old closet. A briefcase meant for her eyes only. There was far more to Quentin, it seems, than she ever knew. Okay. Scratch that. Quentin Peters, which is Amari's brother, is the golden boy of Rosewood low-income housing projects, receiving full scholarship offers to 2 Ivy League schools, but he mysteriously goes missing, and his little sister, 13-year-old Amari, can't understand why it's no big deal. Why isn't his story all over the news, and why do the police automatically assume he was into something illegal? So that's where all the racism, classism comes from. So I want to get to Amari and the Night Brothers by the end of this year. Another book that has been on my radar, it's been on some videos of mine, and I just haven't picked it up and read it, and I'm kicking myself, and it is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. So another renowned author of middle grade books. Every year, the people of a town that is plagued by a witch, they give a child to the witch, and the witch keeps wondering why all these children are being left behind. So she'll take the children and give them, Starlight, which helps get the children to, she takes them to this other village, but she accidentally gives this child Moonlight, which gives her powers, so the witch decides to keep her. And so I'm just really intrigued to read this. I'm really struggling today, and my husband's vacuuming upstairs. Okay, so I want to get to The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill by the end of the year. This book I have read. Don't come at me, please. I'm trying. The Harry Potter series. I've read books 1 through 3, and I kind of stopped, and I want to get back into it where I at least read 1 Harry Potter each year, and I am on The Goblet of Fire, which is next. It's book 4 in the series. I'm not going to read the back just in case viewers have not read it. I don't want to ruin anything, but I really want to get this read by the end of the year, and then each year read another one, because as they go, she's thick. She is a chunker. I struggle with really long books. So I think that might be a little bit of my intimidation to get this read. So I want to make sure that I finish The Goblet of Fire by the end of 2023? Yes. This is another middle grade that's been on my radar and on some TBRs. It's called Winter House by Ben Gutterson. I wanted to read this. I believe it was on my December TBR. So it says, orphan Elizabeth Summers' malevolent Aunt Purdy and Uncle Burlap ship her off to the ominous Winter House Hotel, owned by the peculiar Norbridge Falls. Upon arrival, Elizabeth quickly discovers that Winter House has many charms, most notably its massive library. Goals. It's not long before she locates a magical book of puzzles that will unlock a mystery involving Norbridge and his sinister family. But as she uncovers the hotel's secrets, Elizabeth starts to realize that she is somehow connected to Winter House, for better or for worse. It's got mystery, it's got adventure, and it claims to have beautiful writing. So I can't wait to read Winter House. Look at that little map in the beginning. I love I just love illustrations in books. So Winter House by Ben Gutterson. I will be reading this by the end of 2023. Hold me to it, people. Hold me to it. The next book is another book that's been on my radar, and a coworker read it and she really loved it, and they just came out with book 2, and this book is called The Stars Beneath Our Feet by David Barclay Moore. Look at that. It all started with 2 garbage bags full of Legos. Or maybe it was Jermaine dying, or that fight they had before Maine got shot. Lolly's having a hard time knowing how to be without his older brother around. Seems like he's either sad or mad. The thing that helps most is building. His mother's girlfriend gave him 2 huge bags of Legos, and Lolly's working on a project so big it outgrows his apartment. But there are dangers outside. Older guys who harass Lolly and jump him and his friend Vega. What would Jermaine want him to do? Get with a crew and take revenge? Or build a different kind of world for himself? Lolly's going to have to figure this one out on his own. So I will be getting to this by the end of 2023. This is the last middle grade on my 23 books of 2023. It is Summer in July by Paul Mosier. 12-year-old Juliet is preparing for the worst summer ever. She and her mom are staying at the California seaside for a month, where her mom will be working at the local hospital and Juliet will be on her own, as usual. Meanwhile, her dad is in Europe with his new girlfriend, and Juliet is not even allowed to talk to her best friend Fern, who took the blame for Juliet's goth girl clothes and not real fears like sharks, tsunamis, and the number 3. Thankfully, Juliet meets Summer, a local surfer girl who knows the coolest people around town, and Juliet begins to come out of her shell and face the things that have been troubling her. But when Summer reveals her own painful secret, it's Juliet's turn to be the strong and supportive friend. Summer in June. I just love it. I'm longing for summer weather. Right now in northern Wisconsin, we have so much snow. It's been so cold. And today, when we woke up, for some reason, our furnace decided to go out, so we were without heat. And it's a Sunday, so we have to wait until tomorrow to call. So, yay us. Okay, here is the one young adult that's on my list that I want to read by the end of 2023. And it's Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. There are 2 in this series. And this says, Dante can swim, Ari can't. Dante is articulate and self-assured. Ari has a hard time with words and suffers from self-doubt. Dante gets lost in poetry and art. Ari gets lost in thoughts of his older brother who is in prison. Dante is fair-skinned. Ari's features are much darker. It seems that a boy like Dante, with his open and unique perspective on life, would be the last person to break down the walls that Ari has built around himself. But against all odds, when Ari and Dante meet, they develop a special bond that will teach them the most important truths of their lives and help define the people they want to be. But there are big hurdles in their way, and only by believing in each other and the power of their friendship can Ari and Dante emerge stronger and on the other side. That cover is so cool. It's won quite a bit of awards. So this is the one YA I have on my list to read, to make sure that I read by the end of 2023. Okay, the last, let's see here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 on my list are adult books. So the first book of the adult books that I want to read is Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. PhD candidate Phoebe Walsh has always been obsessed with true crime. She's been analyzing the genre in her dissertation, if she can manage to finish writing it. It's hard to find the time while she spends the summer in Florida cleaning out her childhood home, dealing with her obnoxiously good-natured younger brother, and grappling with the complicated feelings of mourning a father she hadn't had a relationship with for years. It doesn't help that she's low-key convinced that her new neighbor, Sam Dennings, is a serial killer. He may dress business casual by day, but at night, he's clearly up to something. It's not long before Phoebe realizes that Sam might be something much scarier. A genuinely nice guy who can pierce her armor to reach her vulnerable heart. That just sounds so good. In the Company of Witches by Aurelie Wallace. This was on one of my TBRs for October because it was part of a book group read for a book club for Cozy Mysteries, and I never got to it. So it says, for 400 years, the Warren Witches have used their magic to quietly help the citizens of the sleepy New England town of Evanfall thrive. There's never been a problem they couldn't handle. Then Constance Grave dies while staying at the witch's bed and breakfast. At first, it seems like an accident, but it soon becomes clear that there's something more sinister at work, and Aunt Nora is shaping up to be the prime suspect. So, In the Company of Witches. I've heard it's good. This was another one that was on my October TBR, another cozy mystery. It's called Bait and Witch by Angela M. Sanders. Look at that. The library, the magical books. Josie Way loved working among the Library of Congress's leather-scented stacks until she uncovered corruption and made herself a target. As Wilfred, Oregon's new librarian, Josie can stay undercover until the case goes to court. But life in this little town isn't as subdued as she expected. The library, housed in a Victorian mansion, is slated to be bulldozed. Still digesting the news that her safe haven is about to become scrap lumber, Josie discovers a body in the woods. So that sounds really good. My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. I think this has had mixed reviews. That cover, though, is so cool. It was supposed to be a relaxing vacation in sweet sunny Cape Cod, just me and my beloved brother, but discovering a corpse in a rental house really throws a wrench into our tanning schedule. Now a rude, crude bounty hunter has arrived on the back of his motorcycle to catch the killer and refuses to believe I can be helpful. Despite countless hours of true crime podcast listening, not to mention a fulfilling teaching career of wrangling second graders, a brash bounty hunter, and an energetic elementary school teacher. The murder-solving team no one asked for, but thanks to these pesky attempts on my life, we're stuck together come hell or high tide. That sounds so good though. So good. Another popular author and book is called Beach Read by Emily Henry. I'll probably save some of these summer-themed ones to read during summer. So it says, Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance. When she pens a happily ever after, he kills off his entire cast. They're polar opposites. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block. Then one hazy evening, one thing leads to another, and they strike a deal designed to force them out of their creative ruts. August will spend the summer writing something happy, and January will pen the next great American novel. She'll take him on field trips worthy of any rom-com montage, and he'll take her to interview surviving members of backwoods death cults, obviously. Everyone will finish a book and no one will fall in love. Really. Another October TBR that I had and didn't get to was The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. Never mix vodka with witchcraft. Who knew? 9 years ago, Vivian Jones nursed her broken heart like any young witch would. Vodka, weepy music, bubble baths, and a curse on the horrible boyfriend. Sure, Vivi knows she shouldn't use her magic this way, but with only an orchid hayride, scented candle on hand, she isn't worried it will cause him anything more than a bad hair day or two. That is until Rise Penhollow, descendant of the town's ancestors, breaker of hearts and annoyingly just as gorgeous as he always was, returns to Graves Glen, Georgia. What should be a quick trip to recharge the town's ley lines and make an appearance at the annual fall fair turns disastrously wrong. With one calamity after another striking Rise, Vivi realizes her silly little ex-hex may not have been so harmful after all. The ex-hex. That is a cool cover. This book has not been on any of my TBRs, but I bought it because it was cute. It looks like a cozy mystery. It's called 2 Parts Sugar, 1 Part Murder by Valerie Burns. I love baking stuff and I love cozy mysteries. When Maddie Montgomery's groom is a no-show to their live stream wedding, it's a disaster that no amount of filtering can fix. But a surprise inheritance offers a chance to regroup and rebrand. As long as Maddie is willing to live in her late great-aunt Octavia's house in New Bison, Michigan, for a year, running her bakery and caring for a 250-pound English Mastiff named Baby. Maddie doesn't bake, and her Lubboitins aren't made for walking giant it's a fancy footwear. Aren't made for walking giant dogs around Lake Michigan, but the locals are friendly and the scenery is beautiful. With help from her aunt's loyal friends, aka the Baker Street Irregulars, Maddie feels ready to tackle any challenge, including Octavia's award-winning cake recipes. That is, until New Bison's mayor is fatally stabbed and Maddie's fingerprints are found on the knife. That looks so good. Here's another one, been on my TBR. Everybody that I know has read it, loved it. It's a series. Finley Donovan is Killing It by Elle Cosimano. This book follows Finley Donovan, and as a stressed out single mom of 2 and a struggling novelist, Finley finds her life in chaos. When Finley is overheard discussing the plot of her new suspense novel with her agent over lunch, she's mistaken for a contract killer and inadvertently accepts an offer to dispose of a problem husband. Finley soon discovers that crime in real life is a lot more difficult than its fictional counterparts as she becomes tangled in a murder investigation. Everybody loves this book. It's murder. Being a hit mom. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, this is a book that was gifted to me, and I'm not sure if I have read any book by this author, but I've watched a series that was written based on the book, and it's Liane Moriarty's Apples Never Fall. So I watched the show 9 Perfect Strangers, and I really enjoyed it. It was weird and quirky, but I really enjoyed it. So I want to give this book a try before the end of the year. And it is, if your mother was missing, would you tell the police? Even if the most obvious suspect was your father? This is the dilemma facing the 4 grown Delaney siblings. And I'm not going to read the whole synopsis. So basically, I think the siblings are going to try to find out who killed or where their mother went, and try to clear their father's name. So I'm going to try Apples Never Fall. This book was given to me by a friend/coworker, and it was on my October TBR, and it is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I read The Boy Who Saved Christmas by Matt Haig. This is an adult. The Boy Who Saved Christmas is a middle grade, but I loved it, so I'm hoping I'll love this one. It says, between life and death, there is a library. Up until now, Nora Seed's life has been full of misery and regret. She feels she has let everyone down, including herself. But things are about to change. When she finds herself in the Midnight Library, she has a chance to make things right. The books in the Midnight Library enable Nora to live as she had done things differently. Each one contains a different life, a possible world in which she made different choices that played out in an infinite number of ways, affecting everyone she knew as well as many people she had never met. So it's kind of like a second chance had you done things different story. So I want to get that read by the end of the year. The last 3 are winter/Christmas themed adult books, and this one is a cozy mystery, Dead End Gondola by Anne Claire. Ellie Christie is thrilled to begin a new chapter. She recently returned to her tiny Colorado hometown to run her family's historic bookshop with her elder sister Meg and their beloved cat Agatha. Perched in a Swiss-style hamlet accessible by ski gondola and a twisty mountain road, the Book Chalet is a famed bibliophile destination known for its maze of shelves and relaxing reading lounge, at least until trouble blows in with a wintry whiteout. A man is found dead on the gondola, and a rockslide throws the town into lockdown. No one in and no one out. That sounds so delightful. This book is Meet Me Under the Mistletoe by Jenny Bayliss. Look at that cover. Isn't that great? A city bookshop owner heads to the English countryside for a holiday reunion, only to face her childhood enemy. Eleanor Noel, Nori for short, is quite content running her secondhand bookshop in London. forever torn between her working class upbringing and her classmates' extravagant lifestyles at the posh private school she attended on scholarship, Nori has finally figured out how to keep both at an equal distance. So when two of her oldest friends invite their whole gang to spend the time leading up to their wedding together at the castle near their old school, Nori must prepare herself for an emotionally complicated few days. Okay, the last book on my 2023 to be read list was gifted to me by my daughter, and it is called, it's a cozy mystery, Murder in Her Stocking by G.A. McKevitt. I just love that. Christmas has arrived in Sleepy McGill, Georgia, but holiday cheer can't keep temperamental Stella Reed from swinging a rolling pin at anyone who crosses her bad side. And this season, there are plenty. First, an anonymous Grinch vandalizes a celebrated nativity display. Far worse, the scandalous Prissy Carr is found dead in an alley behind a tavern. With police puzzled over the murder, Stella decides to stir the local gossip pot for clues on the culprit's identity. Turns out, Prissy held a prominent spot on the naughty list, and suspects pile up like presents on Christmas morning. Unfortunately, the more progress Stella makes, the more fears she must confront. With a neighbor in peril and the futures of her beloved grandchildren at risk, Stella must somehow set everything straight and bring a cunning criminal to justice before December 25th. Can you see that? It's a pretty cool image. So my daughter gifted me that. Well, guys, that is going to complete my 23 books that I want to read by the end of 2023 list. Pretty much middle grade and adult were pretty even, and with one YA. I kind of feel bad about that, but hey, what do you do? I was just grabbing books that have been on my shelf for a while and need to get read. So I also wanted to show you this shirt, No Shelf Control. I have mentioned in the past, I buy these book themed shirts from a company called Piper and Ivy, and this is one of their sweatshirts. They have sweatshirts, they have long sleeve t-shirts, and they have t-shirts. And let me tell you, these sweatshirts are so comfortable. The fleece lining is so soft, and the t-shirts are so soft. I just love them. So I'll leave a link to, this isn't sponsored. I don't have an affiliate link for them. I wish they'd give me an affiliate link because I own so many of their stuff. But you should really check them out if you like funny book t-shirts or sweaters. I shouldn't say sweaters, sweatshirts. They're so comfortable. Give them a try. Piper and Ivy, they usually have some 20% off sales. It's just a small business online. I just love them. So anyways, I hope everybody had a great holiday and New Year's, and it's a new year for some new reading. I'm gonna try some new authors. I'm excited for the reading adventure. So I hope all of you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.